Hey, what's up, Topher? This is Zone, and today I'm just gonna show you some basic Caitlyn things that are really hard to talk about on stream. So hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate them for you here. Let's set up a dummy, an enemy dummy. I'm just holding some pretty standard Caitlyn items. Okay, so the first thing that the really basic Caitlyn combo is EQ. So normally what normal people do is that they E away and then auto and then Q once they're in a safe position. This is alright, but there's something much smoother that you can do, because you can actually have your Q animation running while you're flying in the air after you cast your E. So you EQ, and notice how it cuts off a lot of the animation time on your Q. Your Q shoots out right away after your landing. And then you can throw an auto in after that too.
Let's investigate.
So EQ, auto. Okay. Just refreshing my cooldowns. EQ, auto. Because then that will proc your headshot at 1300 range, so it's always guaranteed that you can get a headshot proc off. So a lot of people know this one already, but what a lot of people don't know is that you can use your W while your E animation is going. So you can actually get 2 headshot procs off at the same time. So EW, auto, auto. And I notice how I got 2 headshots in that small amount of space. I'm just gonna refresh. Let's show again. WE. If you do it fast enough, you can. If you auto attack fast enough, you can get the 2 headshot procs. This one's a little harder to do, and you need lower ping, but you can do it here. Oh, that time I got a 3rd one because of this. Of my natural 6-stack headshot. This combo is really useful for enemies that dive onto you, like Xin Zhao or Maokai. They have a point-and-click gap closer, and then they just dive on top of you and they melee attack. You can drop a trap at your feet and then EOA. So let's say I'm really close. This is Maokai. He dives on top of me. WE, auto, auto, and if I want to, I can throw a Q again after. Oh wait. WE. WEQ, auto. That one, yeah, you can't WEQ, unfortunately. You can't cancel that many animations, or else you lose a headshot proc. So you have to WE, auto, and then throw the Q afterwards. If they dive on top of you, then the E will actually slow them long enough for the trap to activate. So you don't need to worry about the arm time. The slow will help keep them in place until it arms. WE, auto, auto. Throw the Q afterwards.
Not by a long shot.
But something else that I noticed that when you were laning is that you don't take into account your early low attack speed. Notice how when you auto attack, you have a, I guess, ending animation after the projectile fires. Normally people make use of this. They cancel it by moving in between auto attacks. So you auto, take a step, auto, take a step, auto, take a step. But what you can also do, you can cast a spell during this downtime. So you auto Q. What I see you do a lot is that you auto attack and then you let it, and then you move, and then you Q. You do something like, oh wait, hang on. You do something like, take a step, and then Q, like that. That's fine if you have to use the movement command, but it's better to just auto attack, and then Q, like that. It's so that you can combo them, especially with a headshot proc. So you take auto, so this is standard, your auto move, auto move, auto move, auto Q. It'll really help. I noticed that you don't do this at all, and it'll really help especially in the laning phase when you don't have any attack speed. It won't matter as much later in the game because you're going to be attacking like a machine gun, but you can still do it even at really high attack speeds. So in lane, when you place your traps, you need to have an objective in mind. So normally in a 2v2 lane, you decide from the very beginning whether you want to play aggressively or defensively. And it depends on where the minion wave is, obviously. Okay, so in this situation, what you normally do is that you want to use, you'll only have 3 traps early in the laning phase. So you're going to want to place your traps in a line. Where do I put in a line across the lane? Specifically where the enemy is going to step on them. So unit collision is still a thing in this game. So they can't actually walk where this minion is taking up space. Oh my god. Minions take up space, including enemy minions. So what you want to do is that you see the wave crash in, and then you want to place one here, because they're going to have to walk around them. So you want to place them around where their ranged minions are. And then you can place like one there. And this is really obnoxious. They can't, because these minions are, normally they can walk through where the this gap, but because the minions are there, they can't actually do that anymore. Now, if you're defending this turret, what you can do is that, let's say they're pushing in, you want to place your traps in a way where they aren't too close to the wall, because unit collision. So, for instance, what I see you doing a lot is that you place a trap like right there. This doesn't take up enough space. What you want to do is you want to, here, I'm just going to burn through all my traps. You want to place your trap something like this, so that, yes, it's really difficult for them. They feel pressured, and it makes it really easy for you to just fire a Q through it like that. And then when you have like multiple traps like this, it becomes it's just a shoot. You just shoot through the gaps. They're gonna have to be forced to walk around it, or else they'll get headshot. If they walk between them, you just fire a Q at them. So when you siege a tower, this one's invulnerable right now. But once again, this tower takes up space, so you can use this to your advantage. Since it's already taking up space, you can just place your traps around it, like this. 1, 2, 3. You don't even need the 4th trap. And then they can't do anything. Once again, you have gaps that are perfect for shooting your Q through. If they can't step here at all. And you can just siege. You pressure them off the tower. These traps are basically there to say, you are not allowed to walk past this line. So, this is exclusive to blue side. So you want to do a dragon, you have a couple of options. You can do some standard things like, those are too close together, but it's fine. In this case, you don't want gaps in between your traps, unlike here where you can fire your Q. You just want to block off the corridor completely, so you can place them a little closer together. These ones, however, are too close together, because notice how the hitbox is slightly overlapping. That's bad. I'm just going to burn through my traps so I can redo them. Wait, cooldowns. So 1 and 2. That's good. So yes, there are gaps in between them, but you can't actually walk between them. The gap is too small. They can't walk here, the gap is too small. They can't walk here, the gap is too small. So this is what you want if you intend on blocking off this corridor. This one's a little wider, but in general, you tend to want to ignore the brush because your traps don't give prolonged vision. So you want like one here, and then one here. And then they can't walk through. It would be really difficult for them to walk through. They can walk through here, but that's okay. It means that they can't like cut through this way. They have to walk essentially the long way around. Another way that you can do it is that you can just block off this whole area. You've definitely seen people do this
I have the
before.
tools for
If you have 5 traps, it's even easier. That one's in the wall. That's wrong. You can. I'm pretty sure you can block off this area with 4 traps only, but having 5 traps just makes it easier. When you are fighting in the jungle, you want to use your traps basically on cooldown. So if you find a choke point, block it off. They can't. If you have an enemy and they want to chase you through the jungle, they cannot walk here. You can actually put 2, if you have multiple enemies, you can put 2 of them. One person walks through the first one, the second person walks through another one. Very standard. Okay, let's say they manage to push all the way to this tower. You can block off the whole lane. Let's say 1, 2, 3. This one is really easy because you actually have markings on the floor.
I love a good chase.
They can't walk through at all. They can't walk past this line. You might even be able to push it up even more. Something like, let's see if I can do this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have the tools.
They can't walk past this line at all. And this is really obnoxious. They can't touch your tower. If you're ever in a defensive situation, place your 5 traps like this. Let's say you're taking an inhib. You take the mid tower and you're about to get an inhib. You can drop traps behind you so that you can give yourself a safe escape route. You can drop them behind you so that if they were to chase you after you take the inhib, you can just walk past through this trap line, and they have to walk through the traps. Usually, when you're taking the inhib, you can just drop them behind you, and it gives you a clear path out. It's so that you can get out cleanly. In a Baron situation, you generally want to just drop your traps in any sort of choke point. This is really popular. They can't walk through here. You can refresh this constantly. You can put one here. You can drop one. You actually need 2 for this corridor.
Let's investigate.
And then you can stand around here and keep firing, or if you really want to, you can do this.
I love a good
2, 3, 4. And then you can actually, if they step on the traps, even though these aren't in vision, you can auto attack them from here.
time for a shakedown.
If they flank this, I've rarely seen people try to contest Baron from this side. Usually it's always from this side. So you can just ward down this part and you'll be fine. Beyond that, I think you'll be okay. So with that, I will leave you with stuff to look over. If you have any questions, just ask me on Discord. Alright, bye-bye.